I believe in the sun, even when it isn't shining. I believe in love, even when there's no one there. I believe in God. I believe in God, even when He is silent. I believe in miracles. I believe in light. I believe there can always be a way. I believe that nothing is impossible. I believe that nothing is impossible. That all things are possible with God. I believe in the sun, even when it isn't shining. I believe in love, even when there's no one there. I believe in God. I believe in God, even when she is silent. Even when she is silent.
Good morning, friends, and welcome. Please join me in a breath. We breathe together to gather ourselves in. Thoughts that are dwelling in the past, on those we wish had somehow been different, return to just this moment. Thoughts we are projecting into a future we wish we could control, return to just this moment. In this way, we open ourselves to the generosity available in just this moment. We become better able to attend to what it is we are about, building church together. Each week we kindle a flame, a visual reminder of that light that dwells within us. We know that light is eternal, and yet sometimes it feels dimmed. We gather together to have it kindled again, sometimes by what we receive here, and sometimes by what we share. I'm so glad you have chosen to start your week in this way. As may not be obvious by the name at the bottom of my screen, my name is Jenny White. My pronouns are she or they, and I am here to assist this morning as Darren Chittick, our pastor, is on leave. He will be joining us again next week, and so I ask that we all take a deep breath together and believe the best for him as he takes time to rejuvenate and come back with us fully refreshed. As we move into this morning, I invite you to utilize the chat in the Zoom and the comments on Facebook Live to greet each other, say good morning, check in about your day or your week. As you are doing that, we have a few announcements this morning. Please remember to look at our events page on Facebook at The Church Within to read about upcoming events. Also the weekly email that does go out on Fridays There are a lot of new in-person outdoor gatherings showing up in those spaces, and all the information is there for you. After so much time not seeing each other in person, it's good that we make a part of our own practice to look intentionally for what's coming up. Another reminder is that on July 18th, we have a gathering at Garfield Park at the South Pavilion from 1:30 to 3:30. And that's a Sunday afternoon, so we can all join for church and then all join for fellowship. I point that direction because that's where the park is from my front porch. Now, with all of that business taken care of, let us continue our journey into the morning. First, with the music of Mark Proctor and a time of meditation and prayer from Karen Choate. And as we do so, let us again breathe together.
Precious time is slipping away. Just a lonely thing for a day. Doesn't matter which God you pray. Precious time is slipping away. Doesn't matter what route you take. Sooner or later, heart's gonna break. No rhyme or reason, no master plan. No nirvana, no promised land. Because precious time is slipping away. You know you're only king for a day. It doesn't matter which God you pray. Precious time is slipping away. Que sera, whatever will be. Then I keep on searching for my immortality. She's so beautiful, but she's going to die someday. Everything in life just passes away, but precious time is slipping away. You know she's only queen for a day. It doesn't matter to which God you pray. Precious time is slipping away. This world's cruel, just twists and turns. Life's killing me and the passion burns. I love her madly till the day I die. The hell freezes over, the rivers run dry. Precious time is slipping away. You know she's only queen for a day. It doesn't matter to which God you pray, because precious time is slipping away. Precious time is slipping away. You know you're only king for a day. It doesn't matter to which God you pray. Precious time is slipping away. Precious time is slipping away.
Good morning. As you know, every Sunday at the Church Within, we create a space for stillness, a place of sacredness. We show a willingness to relax by focusing on our breathing and letting our random thoughts flow by. Find a comfortable position, either by closing your eyes or just diverting your attention from the screen, and allow your breath to be your guide, releasing any tension or discomfort you may feel. Choose to come from a loving mind in your heart center. Choose peace and calmness with each breath, and release any inner chatter. As you begin to relax, visualize a protective light. If visualizing is not your strength, then just sense or feel a comforting presence. And picture in your mind or sense a feeling of being surrounded by this loving light. This light can be like a shield with loving energy coming in and tension flowing out. feel the beginnings of relaxation through this meditation, a sense of calmness and security as you focus on this light, and say to yourself, I am safe and loved. And as you breathe, notice a feeling of being more grounded and enhanced by this spiritual shield of protective and loving light. So let's focus again on our breathing and allow your intention to follow your breath. Let us begin. As we near the end of this meditation, here are some words from Holly Timberlake and Susan Atchison. We choose to open to and align ourselves with higher vibrational energies of pure light and love, in which we feel immersed. We can feel supported in our well-being, our energy, our aliveness, our resilience and courage. We allow any disturbance or pain to be released gently and be rebalanced into peace. And finally, may you know the light. May you be the light. May you share this light. You are blessed. May all humankind know this light. May all humankind be the light. May all humankind share this light. We are all blessed. And so it is. So let's send loving energy to our prayer team at the Church Within. As you know, I think there's a link in the chat for this group who helps us support ourselves and others, and also on the website for the Church Within. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Denise Melieri, and it's wonderful to be back with you again this week. I really appreciate that introduction into what we're going to talk about this morning, Karen. So thank you. It was a great beginning. This morning, I want to share with you several really valuable lessons that I've learned in the last year. COVID year, and a great time to learn some terrific lessons. It's not that I hadn't had reminders of these lessons over the years, but in the way these lessons came to us and the way they were condensed and shared, they really allowed me to hear them better this time and to remember. And that's the key, to remember. You know how easy it is to learn something and then have it move out of your consciousness, and a year later you go, yeah, I used to do that. What happened to that? So these lessons have been really life-changing for me, and I think for some of the other folks that I've been learning them with. And so I'm hoping that they may trigger some things for you that say, yeah, I'm gonna remember this one in my consciousness. The lessons I want to share today sound a little odd because they're about death, release, and happiness. And it's easy to kind of go, yeah, how do those three go together? But they're very much connected. So I'll share that with you. At the Church Within, we've been doing a book group for over a year now. And it's been such a great group. And we've had a chance to read 2 books together and really discuss them. The book that we just finished recently was called The Untethered Soul, The Journey Beyond Yourself by Michael Singer. Now, this isn't a new book, so perhaps you remember reading it sometime in the past too. It's a really remarkable book, and it came across to all of us that way, although I have to say it started out a little shaky. And we had moments where we were like, I don't think this is the book we want to do. Let's start over. Let's pick a new book and start over. But we persisted. And because of that, we could laugh about any confusion that we had. We got greater discussions trying to figure out what it was calling us to do. And it was just powerful lessons for all of us. Our angst really, in the end, helped us to kind of take it in more deeply. We took in this author, we took in the lessons, and there's another author that I'm going to share today. So a couple of these lessons from Mr. Singer and one from Pema Chodron, and I hope you'll be able to maybe find ways to remember them yourself. In his book, Mr. Singer taught us about happiness before he taught us the lesson on death. But I think it flows more easily in the reverse. So we're going to look at death first. Did the word death set off any vibrations in you? Well, relax. It's not scary. It's just pretty life-changing and thought-provoking. When Mr. Singer taught us about death, he invited us to look at only having 1 week to live. 1 week to live. Here's what Mr. Singer had to share as he introduced the lesson on death. No person or situation could ever teach you as much as death has to teach you. While someone could tell you that you are not your body, death shows you. While someone could remind you of the insignificance of the things that you cling to, death takes them all away in a second. While people can teach you that men and women of all races are equal and that there is no difference between the rich and the poor, death instantly makes us all the same. The question is, are you going to wait until that last moment to let death be your teacher? He challenged us to be bold enough to live as if it was our last week. As we started the chapter on death, some folks in our group were thinking, maybe this is about our bucket list and we should add a few more things and get them all done in this week, or at least finish up the ones that we've already noted for ourselves. But that wasn't what his message was about. It's not what you're doing, it's how much of you is doing it. And he shared more. So start using every day to let go of that scared part of you that won't let you live fully. Since you know you're going to die at some point, be willing to say what needs to be said and do what needs to be done. Be willing to be fully present without being afraid of what will happen in the next moment. That's how people live when they face death. You get to do that too, because you are facing death every moment. What actually gives life meaning is the willingness to live it. It isn't any particular event. It's the willingness to experience life's events full out. Part of what makes death so potent is recognizing that scarcity makes things precious. Knowing that you have just a short time to live opens the door for us to embrace every moment like it is our last. And it could be. If we are living every experience fully, then death doesn't take anything from us. We fear death because we think there's something to get that we haven't gotten or done or achieved. And many feel that death will take something away from us. But instead, death is giving meaning to our lives. We can choose to waste precious minutes, or we can change our perspective and see how precious every single experience can be. As Mr. Singer said, the way to live each moment of your life is to let life fill you completely. You let every experience touch you to the depths of your being. Even if something terrible happens, view it as just another experience of life. Bottom line, we choose whether we waste moments or experience them fully. Another part of his sharings on death was offering the idea that anytime we are having trouble with something, think of death. Now that sounds a little weird. I was thinking about that, like, oh, this isn't going well. Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen? Oh, I could die. No, that's not what he's talking about. Instead, he invited us to notice it when we're anxious or upset about anything. Am I going to react and go into drama about what is happening right now? Or am I going to choose to live from my highest self? Am I going to play small or instead remember the perspective of having one week to live and take control of what that looks like? Do I want my last week to be filled with drama and discomfort for myself and those around me? Or instead, do I want to think from my loving heart and experience the moment for whatever it is and roll with it? By taking every bit of the experience in fully, knowing that whatever is before me is fleeting, I have a choice about how I walk through it. His final statement on death is, you live life as though you were on the verge of death, because you are. I know it's way easier to suggest living life to its fullest versus how it feels sometimes when we're just trying to live through something. But remember, we have a choice on every single thing. Am I going to play it small and be jealous about my partner? Am I going to let feelings I had as a kid cause me to react defensively with my coworkers? Am I going to let my feelings get hurt and let the hurt become my lasting experience? Our choice. The first book that we read as a group was one by Pema Chodron. I'm sure most of you have heard of her. She's an American Buddhist nun. And the book we read was Taking the Leap. She shared great, meaningful lessons with us too. One on release that I've tried not to forget is that the lifespan of any particular emotion is only 1.5 minutes, 90 seconds. After that, we have to revive the emotion and get it going again. So we can't stop feeling emotions. We wouldn't want to, but we can remind ourselves that if an emotion only lasts 90 seconds, then I have a choice about what I'm going to do. Am I going to keep fueling the emotion so it stays for much longer, maybe for a lifetime? Or am I going to release the emotion as it ends and be done with it pretty quickly? When an emotion hits you and you feel triggered, here's what Ms. Shodrin taught us to do. Step 1, acknowledge that you're hooked and feeling the emotion. Step 2, pause, take 3 conscious breaths and lean into the energy. Step 3, then relax and move on. I know it sounds pretty simplistic, but we all found ourselves experiencing life differently because of this simple lesson. We stopped feeding negative emotions and letting them run with us. We found that taking a pause and the 3 conscious breaths gave us time to think through what we wanted to happen. Again, we had a choice: wind up and keep the emotion reverberating within us, or relax into experiencing life as it comes and appreciating it in all its glory, even when it doesn't feel very glorious. In this same vein, I want to tell you about the lesson on happiness that we learned from, again, Michael Singer. As Mr. Singer began the lesson on unconditional happiness, this is what he said. The question is simply, do you want to be happy? If the answer is yes to happiness, then say it without qualifying it. After all, what the question really means is, do you want to be happy from this point forward for the rest of your life, regardless of what happens? If you want to walk the highest spiritual path, then when you answer yes to that simple question, you must really mean it. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He taught us that often we say we want to be happy, but we have a lot of qualifiers. If my partner hurts me, then I can't be happy about that. But in the rest of my life, I want to be happy. If my kid gets hurt, oh boy, we're not going to be happy about that. But overall, I do want to be happy. So what we end up saying, and what he was really clear, is that we have to be very conscious about this. And we have to truly commit to choosing happiness despite whatever life brings. He said, if you want to be happy, you have to let go of the part of you that wants to create melodrama. This is the part that thinks there's a reason not to be happy. You have to transcend the personal. And as you do, you will naturally awaken to the higher aspects of your being. If we allow ourselves to get bothered by life's events, we'll always have events happening to make us unhappy. If instead we look within, we'll see that when we're truly happy, our heart feels open and the energy rushes up inside of us. When we aren't happy, our heart feels closed and we don't have much energy. There's no advantage to being unhappy. We only hurt and limit ourselves. Mr. Singer went on to say, the person who actually does this every moment of every day is going to notice the cleansing of their heart. This is because they're not getting involved in the stuff that comes up. They're also going to notice the purification of their mind because they are not getting involved in the mind's melodrama. Now that's huge possibilities for us. We can open up our hearts, invite in all of that flow of energy, and we can stop encouraging all the drama that our minds can create. So whatever happens, we can stay happy. We keep our hearts open. If something happens that makes you start to close your heart, go back to what Miss Chodron said. Take those 3 steps. Take those 3 conscious breaths. Ask yourself if this hurt is really worth giving up happiness for the rest of your life. There are no rules out there that say we have to have something that's really tough happen and then have to give up happiness and close down our hearts. We close down to protect ourselves and believe that we'll be safer if we go into defense or protection mode. But once an event has happened, it's over, it's done. We can't change it by shutting down our hearts. We can't avoid what has already occurred. Our only choice is, do I want this event to run my life? Do I want to be led by unhappiness for no good reason? Or instead, do I want to accept this challenging event for whatever it is and all that it can teach me and those around me, and then move on? Doing the second option allows us to return to happiness and that great flow of energy, even in the midst of life's challenges. Mr. Singer also says that when we choose to be happy for the rest of our lives, we will become enlightened. This is how he says it. This is truly a spiritual path, and it is as direct and sure a path to awakening as could possibly exist. If we learn to stay open at all times, great things will happen to us. We simply have to learn not to close. The key is to keep your mind disciplined enough so that it doesn't trick you into thinking that this time it's worth closing. If you slip, get back up. The minute you slip, the minute you open your mouth, the minute you start to close down and defend yourself, get back up. Just pick yourself up and affirm inwardly that you don't want to close, no matter what happens. Affirm that all you want is to be at peace and to appreciate life. Obviously, life's events are going to keep happening to us, and we're going to feel like closing. But we have a choice of whether we shut down or stay open. If we only have 1 week to live, then is it reasonable to not enjoy life? Do we really want drama and pain or unhappiness to lead us through our final week? If we have trouble remembering this lesson, Mr. Singer encourages us to do meditation to help center us and to remember. Some of the folks in book group have been remembering by declaring each morning when they wake up, today, I choose happiness over anything that unfolds. To help me get into the habit, I've put a reminder on my phone. So first thing in the morning when I check my calendar, I see that reminder just in case I forgot my commitment while I slept. I stop, take a deep breath to center, and declare out loud, I choose peace and happiness in every minute today. Each of these lessons are simple, or they're easy. They're simple, so that sounds, but they're not easy. What's easy is to get triggered and react before we even think it through. Declaring our intention for the day each morning, and then reminding ourselves throughout the day as events unfold that we choose peace and happiness helps us move upward in our spiritual journey. When we want our highest self and our best life to be our experience in the last week of our lives, we can choose it. We can have it for every minute we have left. God gave each of us free will. We always have a choice, and it is so.
Said I was in my early 40s, a lot of life before me. A moment came and stopped me all the time. I spent most of the next days looking at the x-rays, talking about the options, talking about sweet time, asking when it sank in. This might really be the end. How it hit you when you get that kind of news. Man, what you gonna do? I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. And I loved deeper and I spoke sweeter, gave forgiveness I'd been denied. He said, someday, hope you get the chance, live like you were dying. So I was finally the husband. Most of the time I wasn't. Became a friend would like to have. And all of a sudden, going fishing wasn't such an imposition. I went 3 times that year, I lost my dad. Finally, I read the good book, took a good long hard look. What I'd do if I could do it all again. And then I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, with 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. And I love deeper and I spoke sweeter. I gave forgiveness I'd been denied. Said someday I hope you get the chance, live like you were dying. Like tomorrow was a gift, you had eternity to think about what you do with it. What could you do with it? What could I do with it? What would I do with it? Skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, with 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. I love deeper, I spoke sweeter, watched an eagle as it was flying. Said someday I hope you get the chance, live like you were dying. To live like you were dying.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Denise. Blessings on you both, from you both. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Friends, in just a moment, our Zoom master, Jeffrey, will put up the words to the offering prayer, and then the closing song, and then the closing prayer. I ask you to say or sign or sing these things into the space around you, giving them voice or movement and bringing them to life off of this computer screen in front of us. Let us join together. Creator God, all that I am and all that I have comes from your limitless supply. I am an open and willing conduit through which your good flows. I share all that I have as you direct. Love, friendship, prosperity, peace, abundance, and joy are gifts that I share and receive. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God. Amen.
All people are holy, many past, one God. All people are holy, only love is real. No matter who you are, no matter where you've been, just gather together, let the Spirit in. All people are holy, many paths, one God. All bodies are holy, only love is real. Only love is real.
May the peace of God go before us into this glorious week, and may the peace remain wherever we have walked. Peace above us and below us, peace to the right and to the left, peace within and without, peace in the face of everyone we meet, peace in the words to everyone we greet. Amen. Friends, thank you for joining us this morning. For those on Facebook, I offer a special thanks, and as we end this live stream, I invite you to enjoy this beautiful day in whatever way serves you.